Hi, Mike Kennedy here, and we're looking at the Yashica Atoron. Okay, this was a subminiature camera. You can see it has a attached flash unit, which of course I'm easily going to open up to show you where you can insert the bulbs. Maybe not. Let's show you that it attaches. Okay, there's a battery in here. It takes AG1 flash bulbs, and there we go. It's been a while since I used that. So the AG1 flash bulb would sit on top here, connected in the camera. It's got the electrical contacts in it. Okay. Now, the Yashica Atoron was a match needle selenium cell camera that used the Minox format. Let's just see if we can't open this to see if we've got see if we have any film at home. No, we don't. But you can see there's a space here and a space here. There's actually a drop-in Minox film cartridge that you could put in here that takes either usually 12, 24, or 36 exposures. At one time, they had some that would take 50 as well. Okay, but the film I think had to be thinner. Okay. Now this is unique in that, well, not unique, but many cameras are like this. They have match needle metering, which means you would look at how the meter is in this thing here, and you would bring this arrow to where the meter is, and that would tell you that you have the proper exposure. Now this is a rather unique sound. You pull it to wind it. I'm going to get it close to it so I know that you can hear it well. Hear that little whoosh? That here you see the you would set your ASA here by turning this, and then you would match the needles. This turns the actual ASA, okay, over here. Then you would turn the whole thing to match where that needle is, and that needle would set the exposure. Now, as so often is the case with old cameras with CDS cells, these things kind of wear out. And so the nice thing about this is that you can actually use it manually. If you look up online, you can download an instruction manual. You can see the counter here on this is up to is going up to 45. So this probably has a counter that goes up to 50 exposures on it. But it wouldn't be hard to use this camera with an accompanying chart and still get it to work well. It had a very nice lens in it, I think. Now, maybe not rivaling a Minox lens, but still overall a pretty good lens. And I've taken some pictures with this one, and I did get some good results with it. Fortunately, I don't have the pictures right with me for this video, but there it is. The Yashica Atoron, a really sturdy, all-metal, nice camera. And like I say, the only weakness I would say as far as we've gone further and further on as time is that the CDS cells become less sensitive, and then you have to guesstimate the exposure. But like I say, if you download the manual, it will tell you what each of these settings are doing, and it becomes very easy to, at least with a little thought, someone at least who's used manual cameras before, I should say, it becomes easy to approximate the lighting level and to set a lighting. And one thing we have going for us when we talk about estimating exposure now is film dramatically improved over the years, especially right before digital came on the scene. Film had reached a high peak, okay, so that knowing precise exposure, especially with something like a color negative film or a black and white chromogenic film, getting the right exposure became to get an acceptable print became relatively easy. And that's what made possible the single-use cameras that only used one shutter speed, one f number, so they exposed everything the same. Well, it was the fact that the color film had become so technologically advanced in the way of printing it that you could actually get prints from out of this negative from 6 stops over, maybe even to 2 or 3 stops under. So it's like, it's hard to not be able to guess in that range. Now, obviously, if you hit the exposure right on, the quality is going to be higher. But that's just something to consider when you think about using a camera nowadays in an all-manual mode. Now, this copied the Minox in that you see there's a chain here, and this chain could actually be used to measure the distance from the lens, from the camera to an object. And that comes into more play with the actual Minox cameras. And this also had a move-in yellow filter. See that yellow tint in there? There we go. I take it out, put it in. And of course, if you can see that something slides over the CDS cell to cover it partially to make up for the amount of light that is lost. A yellow filter, well, let's say in general, all black and white filters were especially important in the early days of film, and they still have uses today with black and white film, but especially with the early film, you could do quite a bit of creative things with different filters, yellow, red filters, even green filters, depending on whether you were shooting foliage, you were shooting the sky, you were shooting portraits. So there you have it. Yashica Atoron, the Minox format. The actual image is 8 by 10 millimeters. That's all in this camera. And the accompanying AG1 flash bulb. And if we were to take this apart, we could get it to where the battery is too, and change the battery. Because there's no battery in this. This doesn't use a battery at all, because the CDS cells would generate enough current for the meter to get an accurate exposure, at least when they were new. Oh, just a little addition here. We'll talk about flash bulbs for a minute. We had 2 color flash bulbs. We had the tungsten color, and then we had a flash bulb that was coated blue for color film. Now, it wasn't necessary to use a blue bulb with black and white film, but to get accurate colors, it was necessary to use the blue bulb, which would be corrected for daylight film.